Haley, thanks for helping with my project.
Yeah, no problem.
So did you know that NASA is planning to send people to the moon?
I did.
And what do you think about it?
Super exciting. And I think it's, step one. I wouldn't say step one because we've had a lot of step ones, but it's just another step, for us to start exploring further into space.
So not everybody shares that point of view. Some people are like, why are we spending money on sending people to the moon when we have all these problems down here? What do you think about that? How do you approach that problem, that conversation?
Yeah. Um, well, I know it's many years down the line, but either way, we have to figure out a way to get off this planet because it's doomed in the not near, but in the far off future. So we have to figure it out anyway. And I think our future is in the stars. You know, we can never have all of our eggs in one basket. So I think we should start sooner than later.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of religious, uh, you know, what do you call it? Well, there's a lot of religions that actually talk about the end of the world, and I would say that's a natural, outcome. Um, I mean, what do you think?
Hmm. Well, I guess they can stay here.
We go, everybody can choose their own future. It's like one of those books where it says, if he goes in through the door, go to page 27. If he doesn't, go to
Yeah, I
page
mean,
52.
I am a equal opportunity person, and so I'm not saying that they're wrong, but if we have a choice of doing things, I'm a believer of free will, and hey, if their future is here on Earth, well, they'll burn in a fiery end, I guess.
Now, you're talking about the sun expanding and consuming the earth eventually.
Correct, eventually. So one way or another, we're gonna have to leave. And I know that's millions of years down the line, but hopefully by that time, uh, we've made enough advancements where we have started colonizing not just other planets in our solar system, but perhaps other solar systems.
Now, there's a nearer term threat of like an asteroid impact, something that like destroyed the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
And Netflix had a movie about this just recently. Don't Look Up. I was wondering if you've seen it.
I have seen it, and it was a one of the saddest movies that I've watched in a long time.
Saddest is in it should have been produced better, or saddest is in it kind of reminded too much of reality.
Too much of our current like geopolitical state that we're in today that there's something happening. There's probably something we can do about it, but we're too consumed in our day-to-day, TikTok videos and political, um, gains. What we need to do instead of actually come together as a race and figuring out how we can actually not just live on this planet for as long as we can, but come together and solve like real scientific problems that we're going to face. And that includes probably what I think is global warming, and different things that were going to happen in the near future. We can, I think, as a race, probably figure out how to solve these issues, but I think we're going to be too caught up in, you know, our own political gain, self gain, financial gain that those other things will, we're looking at our doom, we're looking at our demise, and we're not going to do anything about it because, hey, it doesn't affect me today.
But do you feel like that, like the internet and social media, is like further exacerbating the short term thinking? I'm just wondering if Einstein would have been able to produce the papers he did. I was worried about the number of likes he got on his uh, physics insights.
Um, Social media, I don't know if it's a great thing. Like I personally don't have a Facebook account anymore. I don't have any other social media. Just because I started realizing that it isn't news and it's not peer-reviewed papers. It's not scientific in any way. It's entertainment. The problem is that in today's society, people can't figure out the difference between entertainment and real news or real science. there are certain things you can get from it. There's certain things that can point you in different directions. However, it's such a echo chamber that people get information from it and they believe anything that's inside of their echo chamber. So would Einstein get as far as he would? Perhaps, but I don't believe he'd probably be on TikTok.
He would be smart enough not to get started.
Yeah, it's I do think that in the world of physics today, there are people that are a lot probably smarter than Einstein, but they've built off of Einstein's theories to help build everything else. So Einstein was super smart, and he had a really good, I think, thought experiments. But even himself, he didn't build the theory of relativity. He took everybody else's stuff and put it into a giant theorem.
Yeah, I was reading a book recently that talks about how we have these theories that explain certain physical phenomena, and then we collect observations that don't perfectly fit with that theory, and they accumulate over time. And then it really takes a genius later on to say, well, there's this other pattern that it all fits into. And then again, you have the same sort of cycle that happens. We keep getting a deeper and deeper understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, and wasn't it Einstein had two theories, special relativity and general relativity? And it wasn't just him. There was another person also that was helping him with the theories. I forget the guy's name. For some reason, he did not become famous, but Einstein did. But their names are on all the papers together.
Oh, really? I had to look
Yeah,
at that. I didn't realize he had a co-author.
yeah. There's a co-author, and there was also watch the. Did you watch the Netflix Einstein? I
I
think
did
it was
not.
on Netflix. It is a really good series just on Einstein's life, and just really like his life. What school did he go to? A few of them.
I want to say like something Polytechnic, but
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, it goes through just him and going through like a lot of other people's theories and different like uh, ideas and bringing those together. Now, what Einstein had, again, what he was really good at though, is those thought experiments and really running through those thought experiments to like bring new ideas out of them.
yeah. So how soon do you think it'll be before we actually have humans living off of the Earth, like in other parts of the solar system?
Mm, let's see, Mars, I would hope within the next 20 years.
And I guess you're really banking on Starship being successful.
Yeah, I guess, because I mean, nobody else is really looking at it from, I think, as lofty of a mission. But yeah, I think Starship is probably our best goal to get there within the next 20 years, unless we have some huge advancements technologically, which of course we could with the advancement of probably AI. We're gonna have probably a lot other I think huge technical, especially if you look at AI growing in the next exponentially, probably by what 2050, 2060, we'll see um, AI doing things that our little primate brains can't do.
When you said a big breakthrough technologically, it reminded me of Pandora's Star. Is this Peter F. Hamilton novel? It starts out with this couple of Stanford students. They figured out how to create like you know connections between places in space and time, and humanity's finally like sent their first rocket to Mars, and they're like over there watching it land. And basically they're so pissed off that they, these Stanford guys took away their moment.
Uh, yeah, I think, for us to do what we need to do, we're going to need some breakthrough technologies that are really going to get us to that next level because Mars is a dangerous place. We can't live there. We can't live there without I mean, we can only live there with technology. So it's not like you can just pop up a tent and be like, hey, we're here.
And plus, what necessity is the mother of invention type of thing. It's it's through needing to invent that we actually invent and simulate ourselves to actually create these breakthroughs.
I did see somewhere that they were looking at how to restart Mars's what do you call it, the electromagnetic field around Mars, and that they're looking at how to do that. I just thought, I don't know if they can, but
Can't do it without
yeah,
trying.
I don't know what you need to do that, but I'm sure it has to do with like, you know, some kind of atomic nuclear explosions or something.
Hmm. Um, so I kind of see this series of videos as being a time capsule for generations not even born yet. So imagine, if you will, your great granddaughter is who was born on Mars, lives on Mars, and is doing a high school paper, trying to understand this unique time that we live in, where um, we haven't yet started colonizing the universe, but obviously in her time, it's a natural, normal thing, like people taking planes or going to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Uh, and she's doing this research paper. She finds this video, and you have the ability to give her that nugget of insight that will give her an A. What would that nugget be?
Oh, geez. Um, Probably something a little bit more philosophical, I would say, but um, you know, if you're looking at this time in our on our globe on Earth, I would ask her that please don't judge us for what we do, but for what we can become. Because I think we have so much potential. We're just caught up in a little bit of turmoil right now, and you know, I think hopefully in the near future we find ourselves with good leaders, and you know, we start investing back in education and sciences, because I think that's going to be the key for our survival. But at this moment, again, yeah, don't judge us for what we're doing right now, but judge us for what we can become.
So Lee, if it was safe and affordable, would you take a trip to space?
Yes.
How far would you go? To orbit, to the moon? Would you immigrate to Mars?
Um, yes.
Asked somebody in Mexico City that. He's like, I would go with the aliens if they would abduct me. I was like, whoa.
I would do that too. Um, you know, I think I look at this time on planet Earth, you know, and the experiences that we have. I don't know if there would be a greater experience that I could have. I'm sure there's so much here too, but that you can do. But you know, I once was scuba diving quite a bit, and I felt like the weightlessness of it and the alienness of scuba diving. I thought to myself, this is the closest to outer space that I'll ever become, because it was the closest to the experience of doing it. But yeah, I would definitely, if I could go into space, go to anywhere, I'd go.
Well, that's awesome. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything that you want to add that we didn't talk about?
No, I think you know, if I get a chance, I'll see you up there.
Awesome.